Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and today I will be presenting my recommendations for the conservation of and management changes for the Atlantic shortfin mako shark. Shortfin makos are highly migratory sharks that inhabit temperate and subtropical coastal pelagic environments around the globe. The Atlantic stock, which ICAT considers to be one large stock, is the population that has experienced the most significant decline. Although it contains high levels of mercury, mako shark meat is still considered high quality. These animals have been hunted throughout history, not only for their meat, but also their fins, liver oil, jaws, and for sport, and yet bycatch is their biggest threat. Until recently, they have been listed by NOAA as sustainably managed, significantly below target population, and experiencing overfishing, even though they have been at high risk of extinction for some time. This month, July 2022, NOAA implemented a ban on mako landings that will last for 2 years. While it's a great step in the right direction, makos need more protective measures than this. Shortfin makos are recognizable by their hydrodynamic, streamlined bodies, pointed snouts, silvery blue and white coloring, large eyes, and rows of curved, needle-like teeth in a mouth that cannot fully close. This incredible animal is one of the fastest in the ocean, able to reach speeds up to 45 miles per hour. They are only one of a few endothermic species of sharks that have a unique ability called countercurrent heat exchange, which enables them to raise their body temperature to thrive in cold water environments. The other endothermic sharks are great whites, porbeagles, salmon sharks, and longfin makos, all of which are in the family Lamnidae. As apex predators, makos are at the top of the food web and thus are crucial to maintaining balance in the ocean's ecosystems. They are mostly solitary, congregating infrequently for things such as mating, though juveniles and subadults can often be found with blue sharks and other makos. Their main diet is fish and squid, and as they mature, they move on to larger fish and sometimes small mammals. So while this is a highly evolved animal, shortfin makos are at high risk for extinction. The reasons for this lie in their history and biology. Sharks are precocial, meaning they are born as smaller versions of their adult forms, also called direct development, and are therefore immediately able to fend for themselves. This is in part to offset their reproductive cycle and also because a female would turn around and eat her own young if she gets the chance. While makos can live longer than 30 years, males and females do not have the same growth rate. Males reach reproductive age at around 8 years old, at which they average about 6 feet in length. Females take almost 19 years, at which they average 9 feet. They are ovoviviparous, which means they are live-bearing but still internally lay eggs. They carry their eggs inside their bodies and give birth once the eggs hatch to anywhere between 2 and 30 pups. However, they have one of the longest gestation periods of any shark at 15 to 18 months, at least 3 years between litters, and are prone to intrauterine cannibalism, all of which contribute to their slow reproductive rate. This is a graph from a stock assessment of the Atlantic population of shortfin makos, found on this animal's IUCN website page in supplemental information. It shows the observed and predicted population trajectory of the Atlantic stock over 3 generations, from 1950 to 2017. Makos are affected by both anthropogenic and environmental threats, which include overfishing, culling programs, and climate change effects such as ocean acidification and warming. They have been targeted throughout history for their meat, liver, oil, the fin trade, and recreational sport fishing tournaments, but their biggest threat, as I've said, is bycatch, particularly by longlines, persons, gillnets, treble nets, and trawls. They cannot reproduce or mature quickly enough to keep up with the rate at which they're being fished. Conservation efforts have been made over the years, but cooperation is required and difficult to obtain between the fisheries and countries this species inhabits. Size and retention limits have been utilized in the past, but they didn't work well because this animal was already overfished. One of NOAA's more recent restrictions was limiting landings to mature makos. This was not a good decision for this species because it removed the larger females from the population, lowering their already low reproductive rates. This species is managed by NOAA Fisheries through the Atlantic Highly Migratory Species Division under the Consolidated Atlantic Highly Migratory Species Fishery Management Plan. There is no overall population count because the mako is difficult to keep track of due to its migratory nature. Management actions have included size limits, catch limits, and lowering fishing pressure. And on July 5th, 2022, NOAA implemented a 2-year zero retention limit. What this means is all landings for the short-fin mako are banned for any reason, and any that are caught must be released. This is a positive advancement, but it's still not enough. One of the biggest problems with fishery management is that officials wait too long to implement the regulations that would keep resource species at maximum sustainable yield, or close to it, because of fishing pressure and supply and demand. If fisheries were managed differently based on variables such as gear type, geographic location, and species-specific needs, the extreme measures that anger fishermen and put them out of work would likely not be necessary. As we come to my recommendations and the conclusion of my presentation, I will say again, short-fin mako sharks need more protection than what they've been given. So, I will emphasize the need to go further than a temporary retention ban by increasing protection from sustainably managed to endangered. I recommend that zero retention limit be extended for at least 20 years, as that is how long it takes for females to mature. I also recommend enacting strict limits involving size and landings after the ban is lifted. This will give the species time to recover, provide scientists with more opportunities to tag, track, and study makos in their natural habitat, and protect humans from the high mercury content within the meat of these large sharks. Thank you for your time and consideration.